Greetings, everyone. So, today I just wanted to talk a little bit about cowards. And I would deem myself to be more warrior-like in character, warrioress, since I'm a female. But I just wanted to talk a little bit generally as far as what happened yesterday with LAPD, Hollywood, I think it's Hollywood Division, with Defender of Ants, with Sergio, whom he's a veteran. I didn't even know that. So big up to Sergio for serving your country. And then Streets. So, like, it just was a lot. So I'm just watching. So I had to get some sleep yesterday, so I didn't see some of it live. But, the funny part about people, especially men that are cowards, and disclaimer, once again, I'm going to say, I don't mean this about all police officers. I don't mean this about all LAPD officers or whomever I mention. I know that there are a lot of good police officers out there. I know that. And you guys are fighting a kind of a tough battle because you have morality and ethics, and these dirty cops don't. So we understand. And I know the corruption goes all the way to the top like a rotten apple. So my observations about cowardice, and I think one reason why I'm just a strong person, aside from my life that was definitely not a walk in the park, and as I've said before, I ain't scared of nothing. And I really mean that. Nothing. Nothing. I'm not even afraid of death. I really don't give an F. So, when you're dealing with these more narcissistic type people, I believe a lot of them are demonically possessed. And there might even be some of them that are doing the rituals. I don't know, and I'm not going to look into it because I really don't care. I mean, I care, but it's not my main focus right now. So, when you're dealing with these more narcissistic type individuals, they love the power. It's the only reason that they get into the type of work that they do. So you can find them in the military, as I know, because I'm a veteran of almost 6 years, honorable, served during Desert Storm. My unit went, I got knee surgery, so I didn't go, which was what was meant to happen. So back then, I, of course, didn't understand what all this means. But when you're dealing with cowards usually are the ones that you'll see getting all these press releases. Oh, look at me. I helped the starving children. Look at me. I did this. Now, I'm not saying there are a lot of people doing good works out there. So please, no. I don't mean that about everyone. There's some people out in the world just doing some really beautiful things. And they're proud of what they're doing. And they want to show it, which is wonderful. But you do have what I call the virtue signalers. Mike Rinder, sound familiar? You've got the virtue signalers that are like, it's like this complete facade. Look at what I'm doing. I'm helping people. Oh, I'm so fabulous. I am a president. I am this. Me, 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 me. I. That's what's called virtue signaling. So, I'm jumping a little bit back and forth here, but when it comes to a true, utter coward, which again, as I said, they're usually, I would have to say, All of your bullies have some type of narcissism. They have to. Because in order to make themselves feel better, they have to put other people down. They've got to lock people up against their will, create false charges because money is everything to them. Because the only way that they feel good about themselves or powerful is when they are subjugating, abusing, demoralizing other human beings. Because they're so empty inside, that's what makes them feel powerful. So, like, if you see a lot of these super dirty Hollywood LAPD, it takes a lot to shock me. I've always known about the corruption of things. I know about the Illuminati. I know about the 13 bloodlines. I know about the adrenochrome. I know about a lot of stuff. And I think I'm going to start a series, but they always take those videos down. They don't like people knowing about that stuff. But anyways, when it comes to like this cowardly behavior, it's most definitely narcissism. I had an issue that I was dealing with recently. And I'm more on the witchy side, and like all witches are not bad. Like anything that I do is more like dealing with the earth, dealing with the herbs, candle magic, etc. And it's real. You don't have to believe it, but I know it to be true and real, just like law of attraction is. When you're dealing with these more lower vibrational, cowardly individuals, these bullies, they're very empty inside. So in order for them to build like this external fake facade of who they are, how powerful they have to continually beat people up physically. They have to demean them. They have to put them down. They have to invalidate them, degrade them. Just like a lot of I don't like to use the word protesters. I know a lot of them call themselves protesters, but technically they're child advocates. And some of them are more like independent news reporters. They really are. Because how their motivation for what they're doing is not protesting. See, I think protesting is a very like negative etymology defined word. It's like to make these people look like they're doing something evil or wrong, which in fact the people enforcing and detaining them against their will, putting them in jail for laws they didn't break, which is highly illegal, that makes the so-called, I say it in parentheses, protesters look bad. So, in essence, really what they are child advocates. Or you could call them human rights advocates. At this point, it really is more about the children. Yes, I do have a lot of compassion for the adults in Scientology. I do. Especially the ones that were born into it. But, if you have to look at a threat level, how like during some of our so-called emergencies, how we had various threat levels. The threat level at Scientology for the children is the level orange, which would be the highest level. So the children are the future. The children deserve safety. Listen to Jamie Mustard, what he went through. And what I'm hoping, I know how traumatic it is for all the people that have been a child in Scientology, not somebody who joined when they're 16 or 17. I'm talking more so about the ones that were born as a slave into Scientology. No love, 100% neglect, like Jamie Mustard, and some of the, who's the other gal? Miriam Francis, who 100% did not get justice. Don't worry, the fight's not over. It's going to continue. It will continue. And there's going to be other avenues. Can't stop, won't stop. So, cowardly people, in order for them to feel better about themselves, a lot of them put uniforms on. And that would include military, that would include police officers, firemen. And I don't need to continually repeat myself. You guys all should know by now, I don't mean everyone. That would be ignorant. That would be like saying all redheads are like daft, you know? So, what we continually see are acts of cowards. So, and that goes for the fair gaming Scientologist old man who tried to attack Lara. And he was the same guy that I believe he was the same guy that tried to set up, oh, Danny. Yeah. Yeah, the false charges that Danny is, locked up against his will for not breaking the law. So these are acts of cowards. Men, and I say that very loosely, men that try to hit women or attack women. And Defender Vance was actually trying to protect Lara. Who ends up in jail? Defender Vance. You do the math. So I just actually, too, I might go back to that video. It was very interesting when that whole thing happened with Lara. That creepy old man, I'm sorry, like she was really nice to him. He didn't deserve it. There were shots of him where he actually looked like a demon. And that would go to the metaphysical, like some of these people are infested with demons. I know people don't want to hear it, but it's the truth. If you don't believe that, that's fine. But all you got to do is just look at their demeanor. Look at their faces. Like that, what's that guy, Alioto on the LAPD? I would think he'd be more demonically possessed. So we continually see acts of cowardice. So the LAPD, the Hollywood division that continually is arresting people outside of the La Poubelle rape restaurant, that is 100% cowardice. And yeah, they're getting the dirty money, but little do they know that that dirty money is really drying up. Doesn't look like it now, but trust me, the walls are tumbling down right now. So, and as I've said before, I know people are going to get offended. That's okay. I wouldn't be the first time I offended somebody. There are a lot of dirty police officers that are into children. It's a fact. It's a MF freaking fact. 100%. Sometimes they get dealt with by the good cops, which is good. So, yeah. So, anyways, if you guys want to know anything more about that, and that kind of goes more into the satanic ritual abuse, which right now I don't want to get into. Not that I'm afraid, because as I said, I'm not afraid of anything. But what I was going to say was John Wedger, JONWEDGER, he exposed a whole lot of child abuse, child sex trafficking, things that were going on in London. At the time, he was a lieutenant in the London police. And he used to interview a lot of the victims, and then he stopped doing that because, rightfully so, the young children that had been sex trafficked, they were so traumatized and messed up as adults that a lot of things were happening to him, and just a lot of like drama, crazy stuff. So he doesn't do that as much anymore, but what he does now is he'll go and be interviewed on various channels. He's been interviewed on like really large channels too. But what I learned when I was watching him talk about it, because there are very few police officers willing to come forward, and I do understand it because some of them, their lives are in danger. I get that. But yeah, there's big money that is being made on sex trafficking of children. And anyways, I'm not going to get in that too deep right now. But when you're talking about cowardice, what are the markers, the true markers of a coward? I'm going to get some of my coffee. Hold on. The true markers of a coward is a full grown ass adult that gets off raping children. And you see how they tried to dismiss the charges with Miriam Francis. I believe that's not the end of it, though. It's always like the statute of limitations. I mean, like, you got to ask yourself what kind of police officers do that, right? As I said, I don't want to beat the drum over and over. If you think some of these cops aren't into this stuff, you got the wrong. Who else would be the defender of, right? So, the true mark of a coward is a man and a woman, and women are just as guilty of being cruel, of being abusive, of being neglectful towards an innocent child. And I believe those are the more narcissistic types, because people that have compassion and empathy don't do that to children. Yes, I know about Ron, what's his name? Creepy, gross, disgusting, convicted felon L. Ron Hubbard. I know his policies. But at that's, well, I suppose a lot of Scientologists, when they do find that out, they're like, F this, I'm out. So I think a lot of the craziness that we're seeing is the more narcissistic, I have no empathy types, to include the Hollywood Division LAPD, because obviously they have zero empathy. They don't even have, it's not even in their brain. They don't even have it. So yesterday when you see all that stuff going on with DOA, no empathy, no compassion. I mean, there's no talking to them. I mean, like, everything that they're doing is like 100% illegal. Like, these police officers are not cops. They're actors. They're literally actors. And they're cowardly. I mean, like, a coward would take DOA's wrist and crank it on purpose just to kind of show him a lesson. Do you think that is a man that could have a fair fight? Absolutely reprehensible, and just, it's absolutely a joke. Because these men that are wearing these uniforms, they wouldn't be anything without them, right? So that's the narcissism. They know they couldn't have a fair fight on the street. They don't even have the balls to do it. All they want to do is go around and set up real men like William Good, like Defender of Ants, like Sergio, who's a veteran, which just pisses me off even more. I didn't know he was a veteran. But I can, he's very quiet, and he does not like to have he doesn't like to be on screen, because, I mean, I did those little dedication videos. Had a hard time, like, getting a picture of him. But yeah, these people that we're dealing with are cowards. And the ones that came out from La Pouble and did all that craziness that they were doing yesterday, cowards. And then William Good had to pin one guy because he was out of control. And he's like, oh, I'm dying. And then apparently, I don't know exactly how it went. I'd have to go back and listen. But one of the guys, like, did some like, creepy stuff, like, violent stuff, and ran away from his friend. So he just left. That's a coward. You ain't nothing but a bitch. You ain't nothing but a bitch, man. You ran away from your friend. And then I think that same loser said to, I don't know who was running after him. I can't remember. But he said to one of the guys, I have a GUN. Coward. See what I mean? It can't fight fair. And all these people outside of the Pouble and all that, yeah, Pouble's a rape restaurant, but the whole heart of this It's to try to get the children out of Scientology because right now, as we speak, these children are being essayed. They are being physically abused. They are being neglected, not given enough food and that. They are not allowed to have any kind of real education. They just get indoctrinated by L. Ron Hubbard's stupid, idiotic stuff all day long. They are sect checked. Little children, tiny ones. They are sect checked. They are audited with all this bullshit. And what's the other one that... Oh, course. You got to be on course. Not allowed happiness. Not allowed to go play on the playground. Not allowed time to play. Put into manual labor. This is going on right now, and that's what LAPD is standing up for. We want children to be labor trafficked. We want children to be essayed. We're okay with that. I look forward to seeing what happens to that loser Blondie chick. Because she could never fight fair. She's pathetic. Another narcissist. She's typical narcissist. So, yeah, that's all about the cowardice. So you look at these Hollywood Division LAPD cowards. You look at the Scientologist that in the middle of the night hit Chris from the side of his head because that's how they fight because they're pussies. Coward. Couldn't have a fair fight. The old demonic creep that was trying to get into Lara's face and hit her and all that. Super demonic coward creep. You see what happened with the firefighters that won't talk. Can you imagine what little pussies they are? They won't even talk to the child advocates. That is the funniest thing I ever heard in my life. Super narcissistic. It's a silent treatment. They're supposed to be serving the people. And the funny thing about this is Davey from the fake space Navy. Davey doesn't give a shit about those firefighters. He doesn't give a shit about those LAPD officers. Watch and see what's going to start happening. There was what was I going to say? Aaron Levin Smith did a really cool video on one of the orgs that lost its tax-exempt status. Did you hear that? Davey from the fake space Navy? One of your orgs lost its tax exemption. I think it's Cincinnati. LAP, did you hear that? So, a lot of your money's gonna dry up. This sucks, huh? Oh, man. So, and Davey, wow, Davey from the fake space Navy ain't never been a more cowardly person on the face of the frickin' earth. Tom Cruise, too. Frickin' coward. I know about all the blackmail and all that stuff. I understand it. I know it's hard to get out and all that. But if you're allowing all this abuse of children, I don't care if some of you guys drop dead or get very sickly. Some of you kind of get your karma. Not all of you. I'm not saying all of you. But some of you do. You're going to get what you deserve. So we all know that we have clown courts here in the United States of America. But, there's other laws besides the clown courts. There's the universal laws. And that's partly what we're seeing because it's good versus evil. And, on that note, I'm going to go light some more candles. Have a good day, everyone. Peace. Don't be a coward.